in terms of my day, if I'm writing a book, I'll be up at 6 o'clock and at it. You know, there's postings for the website first thing in the morning, and then any emails to urgently reply to. But then I get into the book, and I write all day. And all of my books have been written between 6 o'clock in the morning and 6 o'clock at night.
Right.
None of them have been written in the evening, because that's when my body clock says, okay, enough. I'm a daytime person, not a nighttime person. In terms of being prolific, it's getting more so. I mean, I've got a book coming out soon called The Trap, which you're obviously involved in circulating. But the one after that's already coming. It's like it's getting quicker and more focused in terms of the subjects. Did I ever have a moment when I thought, take it all away? Never. It never even entered my mind. Were there moments over a long period when I thought, is there any point to what I'm doing? Is there any point? When I was going to church halls or village halls or whatever, and I would put the chairs out often, I would talk to them, there's no bugger in them, and then I would go home, poorer than when I arrived. And I remember someone said to me at Liverpool University once, when I was doing a talk, there weren't many there, usual thing in the 90s. Where's the money going, right? I said, out of my bloody life, mate, you know. What happened was, I'm playing in goal. It's a big crowd that night at Underhill, the old Barnet ground, and it was packed. And it was a night game, and the ball broke to this guy about 12 yards from goal. And he hit it absolutely sweet. And it's going top left-hand corner. And you know, being a goalkeeper, there are times when someone will hit a ball and your first reaction is, this is in. But you go for it and somehow you get it, right? And I did, but there's another story to it. Because as he hit the ball and I started to move, everything went into slow motion. So I'm going across to my left like this, in my mind, in slow motion. The noise of the crowd disappeared. It was just silence. It was like someone had pressed a mute button. And this is all new to me. Of course, it's never happened to me before. And I've gone across, and I've leapt to my left, and I put my right hand up, and I'm arching myself back, and I just see the ball hit my hand and go just over the bar because it was going so fast. And I landed, and as I touched the ball, everything crashed back into real time. And the noise of the crowd was unmuted, and bang, the crowd noise came in. And I'm laying on the ground. People are, players, teammates are coming up. Great save, Icke. And I'm lying there thinking, well, not what on earth just happened, but you know what I mean. I mean, what's just gone on? My life changed overnight. From that moment, literally, when I walked off the set, I couldn't go anywhere without being ridiculed and laughed at. And then the second Wogan show, which was a kind of a series of retrospectives that he did on previous guests on his Wogan series, that was very different, because I was very different. I wasn't in the middle of that 3 months anymore. No. I'd done a lot of research on things, and Terry Wogan's basically out of his depth with the interview. What was phenomenal in the difference, though, is that when I walked out on the Wogan show, the first one, the primetime live one, very, very quickly the audience were laughing, and they basically laughed the whole way through. And when I did the second one, they were applauding at what I said.
I remember, yeah.
It was such a contrast experience. I'll tell you what kind of strikes you get, when you, especially in this period, around the birthday, and people have said lots of nice things, is just how far this has gone around the world. I've sat in my little office on the Isle of Wight, turning this out for 30 odd years. And when I used to travel a lot, do talks and stuff, you'd see the response and how far it's got. But during the COVID years, obviously you've not traveled like the same. But to see how far it's got, and you know, into countries you wouldn't have even thought of. Yeah. It's kind of, it's very moving actually. It's moving because you think all that shite was worth it, you know, because of the way. And something else that strikes you is, I was told in 1990 all this was going to happen in terms of response to me worldwide, and it's happening. So it's a confirmation that this is actually going somewhere, and this is going to turn out all right eventually. When I had my awakening, initial awakening in 1990-91, the only arena that I could interact with that kind of information and those kind of questions were what was called the New Age. This is why you still see people, David Icke's a New Age prophet, he's a New Age conspiracy theorist. Well, I'm actually not. There's lots about what we call the New Age that I actually don't agree with. Everyone to their own, but I don't. And people were saying to me, what do you do to protect yourself? And I'd say, well, nothing. Nothing? You know, it's like, what? If you are in a family, and fortunately I am, thank you, where people are in vibrational harmony, you can achieve enormous amounts because you've got that mutual support. So, you know, people are watching your back, you're watching their back, and it's great. And the way my family has emerged particularly in the last few years, I mean, you know, I couldn't be happier really at the way it's gone, because there's not that many people out there, I know from experience over 32 years, that you can trust when they come in and say, yeah, I want to help you. I think what you're doing is great, and then eventually you say, yeah, you don't want to help me. You want to see what you can get from me. There is a force, very comforting when you look at the world events. There is a force that is working to dismantle this control system. There is, and it's working through us. So we have to play our part. And so the information has come in abundance about a particular subject once the subject comes into my life. That's exactly what happened with the reptilians. I started traveling around America, like I say, talking to nobody in 1996, where I was out there about 3 months. And suddenly the reptilian thing came in. And I'm meeting people all the time telling me the same basic story of seeing someone in a human form change into a reptilian and go back again, and you think, oh dear, I'll put that on the back burner and see what happens. Well, what happened is more and more information came. The cause throughout human history, and this conspiracy goes on obviously a long, long time, is human acquiescence to authority. It's the few controlling the many throughout human history, because the many have given their power to the few. That's it. That's the dynamic. And that's why when I look back at so many things that I've said over the years, that theme has been continuous over 30 years. The few can't control the many unless the many acquiesce to the few. It's that frickin' simple. Again, it's simple. It's not complex. Enjoy it. Now, what is aging? It's a program, right? So you look at a hologram. This is a hologram. Look at a hologram that's kind of, you see around, the more and more you see holograms. How does a hologram age? How does a hologram age? It can't. It's a hologram. It's in its state it's in. So there is a program running through this hologram that takes you from cradle to grave. It's part of the program. Now, consciousness can override that. Doesn't mean you live forever. You don't want to live forever. Well, we do live forever, but I mean in the human body.
In the current state, yeah.
But it does mean you don't have to bow to the program.